Nice. Trying to pay some electric bills, everybody's favorite thing. Did I lock myself out of my own house? No, I didn't. Okay, what is this? Oh, look. It's another rate hike. Have you been getting these? The companies that we depend on to heat and power our homes have been trying to raise our bills more than ever before. But there's one company here in West Virginia that might be the worst example.
First Energy.
First Energy, to those that know it, has become the poster child for scandal.
Largest bribery scheme the state has ever
Here
seen.
today to announce the filing of criminal charges.
This is a humbling moment for our company.
So recently, when they put a request forward for a major rate hike, it set off a firestorm. I did a little research into the situation, and it wasn't long before I was reading about corruption and massive taxpayer bailouts. So I kept digging. The investigation brought me deep into our public utility system, something that most of us never really have to think much about. It took me to protests, public hearings, the homes of people struggling to pay sky-high rates, and it completely changed how I think about a basic question. Why are energy bills so damn high?
Mary, if you have any thoughts about it.
What's your thoughts, Mary?
My thoughts, it's outrageous. $70, $80 difference.
That's a lot
That's a whole.
in just 1 month.
And it's really scary to think of what it'll be next month.
It will be. My wife and I are on a fixed income. We live on Social Security primarily. We know how to budget and we manage things and we can survive on that. But now it's going to push us to the edge.
Like most of the country, Al Arnett only has one electricity provider to choose from. It's called First Energy, and it's one of the largest investor-owned utilities in the U.S. When he looked into it, he discovered that beyond what he's already paying, First Energy is now requesting a huge rate increase of $207 million. For the average customer, that would mean paying over $200 more every year.
This is just ridiculous, and somebody needs to bring a stop to all this. And I don't think they even care, because all they have to do is request a rate increase, pass all their expenses on to someone else.
Right, because what are you going to do?
Exactly.
Yeah.
What can we do?
Al did what he could. He wrote a letter to the West Virginia Public Service Commission, a state agency that is supposed to regulate the utilities.
In view of all that I have stated, and the recent well-known fraudulent actions of Mon Power's parent company, First Energy Corporation.
What'd you mean by that?
Well, I was talking about the situation that happened in Ohio.
Speaker Householder, what do you have to say to Ohioans?
Not at this time.
Are the allegations against you true?
In 2020, a federal investigation revealed that First Energy was at the center of one of the biggest political scandals in Ohio's history.
Make no mistake, these allegations are bribery, pure and simple.
First Energy spent millions lobbying for a bill that gave it $1.3 billion to bail out failing power plants. The bill also rolled back Ohio's energy efficiency and renewable energy standards.
There were these murky groups with names like Generation Now, spending a lot of money on ads and these political campaigns.
The Chinese government is quietly invading our American electric grid. You may be approached on the street or at your door to sign a petition to defund U.S. jobs and energy.
But it wasn't until a while later I was actually looking through some bankruptcy filings from the First Energy Solutions bankruptcy case and realized that they had included some payments to this Generation Now group. Suddenly, there was a press conference.
We're here today to announce the arrest of Larry Householder, the Speaker of the House.
First Energy eventually admitted to paying $60 million in bribes, as well as paying off Ohio's top utilities regulator.
This is a humbling moment for our company. First Energy will pay a penalty of $230 million.
$230 million to settle federal charges against the company in connection to a sweeping bribery scheme.
First Energy's scandal in Ohio raised an obvious question. Had its customers been paying for the bribery? That question became even more critical last year when First Energy started asking for big rate increases. $207 million in West Virginia, $185 million in New Jersey, and $40 million in Maryland. In response, several states decided to audit First Energy's finances.
Pretty much every state First Energy does business in, investigations or audits or the company's own admissions have shown money that they paid to lobbyists who worked on these ratepayer bailout campaigns was charged to ratepayers and needs to be refunded.
But the scandal also highlighted the key role played by one agency in particular. It's the Public Service Commission. In every state, there's a commission that's supposed to make sure the prices we pay for utilities are fair.
We are here this evening to listen to public comment in case number 23-0460.
Today, that commission in West Virginia is considering First Energy's requested rate hike. So we came to see how people are feeling about it.
So many of the folks I work with daily can no longer afford to pay their electric bills because their electric bills are now higher than their mortgages.
First Energy has proven recently to be a corrupt company.
And if the Public Service Commission agrees to their lobbying efforts, the whole thing will really stink.
Many people here have responded to sky-high rates by installing solar panels, reducing what they have to pay to First Energy.
I would just like to echo what everyone else has said, that I believe that these changes are unfair to anyone looking to go solar in the state in the future.
In its rate request, First Energy proposed that solar panel owners get paid less for the power they generate.
It's really a double whammy because rates are increasing, but the relief is being threatened.
So why is First Energy doing this? The truth is, they have a vested interest in generating power a different way. You may have heard of it. West Virginia is the energy state. Coal, right? The weird thing is that over the last 15 years, the cost of electricity in West Virginia has gone up by 90%, more than almost any other state. Over the same period, coal has stopped being a cost-effective way of producing electricity. That's because it became cheaper to generate power from gas, wind, or solar. To save money, most utilities have made the switch, but First Energy doubled down. Today, the company still uses coal to generate nearly all of its electricity in West Virginia.
Renewables at this point are cheaper, cleaner, and the utilities, instead of looking forward and determining how they're going to transition, are making upgrades to power plants that by all accounts should be shuttered.
The job of utility regulators is to keep rates low. But instead of encouraging First Energy to transition to more affordable forms of energy, the West Virginia Commission has repeatedly done the opposite.
It was supposed to be a fairly routine meeting, dotting the I's, crossing the T's in some previous legislation. But then came something very controversial.
While First Energy was pursuing this massive bribery for bailout scheme in Ohio, it was also pursuing any way possible to keep the Pleasants coal plant up and running in West Virginia.
By 2017, one of First Energy's biggest coal plants was no longer profitable to operate. So First Energy got creative. They found a way to shift the plant to another part of the business where ratepayers would have to bear the costs.
They would have been forcing ratepayers to bail out the shareholders, just pretty much the ultimate no-no. You can't take money from low-income ratepayers in West Virginia and send it to investors on Wall Street.
Everyone knew this maneuver would increase costs for the consumers, but the Public Service Commission still supported the plan. The scheme was so outrageous that it was immediately rejected by federal regulators. But that didn't stop First Energy and its allies, like West Virginia Governor Jim Justice.
Governor, we thank you so much for all you've done and all you continue to do.
They went to West Virginia's Governor Jim Justice and said, hey, you know what would really help? A big tax break for this power plant.
The big surprise was a last-minute bill submitted by Governor Justice that would give the controversial Pleasants Power Station $12 million tax break.
Nobody's going to go to bat for you more than I. Nobody believes in coal more than I. I'm going to sign these right now.
We're just so appreciative of Governor Justice taking a lead role in advancing legislation to save this plant.
The governor had found another way to make West Virginians foot the bill for the failing coal plant. Oh, and Governor Justice, once a billionaire owner of a coal mining business himself, appointed all 3 members of today's State Utility Commission. You know, the people now deciding whether First Energy gets its big rate hike.
I'm Charlotte Lane, Chairman of the Public Service Commission of West Virginia.
Its chair, Charlotte Lane, is a former First Energy lobbyist. Another commissioner, Bill Rainey, ran the West Virginia Coal Association for nearly 30 years.
The great thing about coal that people typically do not understand is that it's the basis of their electricity.
At the hearing, we were lucky enough to have a quick conversation with Todd Myers, a spokesman for First Energy. So we've been going around the state and talking to a lot of people who are your customers. And one of the main questions that has been on their mind over the last 15 years, West Virginians have seen retail prices on energy increase by 90% since 2005. Why are they experiencing that?
I can say that over time, we've made a lot of investments in West Virginia. You're investing in the infrastructure, you're investing in wires, you're investing in different storm processes, and there's a lot of different things as you know, prices go up, and also energy, not only in West Virginia, but in many places, the energy continues to, and the fuels continue to get more expensive.
How can customers of Mon Power, Potomac Edison, be sure that they are not paying for the political lobbying of the parent company, First Energy, with a lot of these rate increases? That's a concern on a lot of people's minds.
Yeah, I think there's been an audit that the commission has looked at. I don't know what the findings are there, but that's another question for Hannah.
Talking to people about utility commissions has made me the most boring guy at the bar for the last month. But lack of public interest is exactly what's allowed these monopoly utilities to capture regulators and raise rates all over the country.
I'm a little guy, just like all of my neighbors and friends who are subjected to the same problems with this.
Right.
What do we do?
The companies that provide us with electricity, heat, water, we give them monopolies because they are supposed to serve us, to provide reliable energy at an affordable rate. But somewhere along the line, that agreement broke down.
These people have so much power to just say, we want more money, we're gonna raise the rate, and then it just happens.
Over the last month, I've seen a growing movement to restore that agreement.
It's West Virginians who are gonna own the power plants, not Wall Street.
And a movement is probably what it'll take to hold companies like First Energy accountable.
If we have no one that's within power that's gonna stop this kind of thing, we're done.
Hi, thanks for watching our video. If you like this story and you want more stories like this, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel to get more Perfect Union in your feed. And if you have stories that you want us to investigate, drop them in the comments below.